Landlord-tenant laws seem fairly straightforward, right? But there are some nuances now that have just ignited the new issues pertaining to the laws on rentals. First, in June of 2017, the California legislature revised all references to marijuana in the law as cannabis. It could be just rebranding, but for this, we will use cannabis. Are landlords authorized to restrict the various personal rights to use, possess, cultivate recreational cannabis within their property? Yes. The right of a tenant for personal agriculture under Civil Code 1940.10 specifically excludes cannabis. Since landlords are already specifically authorized to prohibit smoking tobacco in any portion of their rental property, Civil Code 1947.5, they are also authorized to prohibit the smoking of cannabis. Now, what about medical cannabis? Can landlords restrict that too? Yes, again. Allowing a tenant to utilize medical cannabis would not likely be considered a reasonable accommodation under state law. This is because the tenant is asking the landlord to accommodate his or her disability by violating federal law, a violation that could result in the possible forfeiture of the landlord's property. As a result of the considerable risk to the landlord, allowing a tenant medical cannabis use or cultivation would likely not be a reasonable accommodation, but rather an unreasonable request that landlord would not have to allow. What precautions should a residential landlord take if he decides to rent to someone who is a qualified patient who will use, possess, or cultivate cannabis in their rental unit? If a residential landlord agrees that a tenant can use medical cannabis in accordance with California law on the premises, the landlord should put certain restrictions on the use. I hope that clears the air on this new change to landlord-tenant law.